Hey guys, welcome to Beyond the 90s, the LCFC Women's Wrap-Up Show. With me, Hannah is here. Hannah.
I'm good. How are you?
Almost recovered from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin.
Yeah, I'm good. How about you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. So yesterday, the men won the FA Cup. Everyone's probably still celebrating Leicester City today. The women had the chance to get through to the quarterfinals against WSL opponents Manchester United. What a win! Through to the quarterfinals. Hannah, what are your views?
I'm so ready. Like you said, the men's side won the FA Cup yesterday, and I'm still processing all of that. And of course, I was thinking, okay, now I just want the women's side to go and do the same thing. And so I just was basically telling myself, if we make it past United, that's like the first step, kind of. So we're into the quarterfinals now. It was a stressful game. Yesterday was a stressful game. Today was a stressful game, but we made it through. So thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. Austin, what about you? Obviously, going into the game, we were champions. I think a lot of fans, non-Leicester fans, had written us off because we're a championship club. We've just gone up. Would we be okay in the WSL? I think today's proved a massive point.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit worried before the game because I didn't really know how we would perform being off 2 weeks and trophy, all that stuff, and then the magic that was yesterday. Didn't know how we would be, but it was so great to see how we played and how we stuck in there that whole game because that first half was rough until Shannon scored. So the way that we came back and won that game capped off just the perfect weekend.
Yeah, I totally agree. Everybody went for it yesterday. Everyone went for it today. I think as Leicester fans, people will be taking the week off and having a bit of a rest. As handle the first half, obviously going into half time, things didn't look good at all, if you're perfectly honest. What were your views of the first half?
I found that in the first half, United was just exposing us in so many different areas, and they kept going down the same side. And our possession we were not having any possession. And of course, I was kind of like, oh, but then at the same time, United were not looking great either. So I was confused, I guess, because I was like, what's going on? What's happening here? And then like they pulled the usual Leicester of scoring right before the halftime. So I was like, thank God. Because in my head, I was like, we need that goal. But at the same time, there's so many amazing saves in the first half. I know that Sam Tierney was like on the line, keeping the ball out. She did what, 2 or 3 times? I think twice. And Kirsty was just making so many great in that half, second half too. But I'm not going to jump the gun and jump ahead to that. But it was stressful to say the least. But we won in the end, so I'm forgetting about that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think as we've seen in the past, we always sometimes go out firing the first half and have a better second half. And I think this time, first half, like you say, there were a few mistakes, but half time came. Jonathan obviously said his words of wisdom to get them all firing again. I think the second half, they came out like a different team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that, Austin?
Yeah, the first 10 minutes were really good. We were really bright. We were definitely on the front foot. But we just couldn't really capitalize on that first 10 minutes. And then obviously they scored, and I think it was Jane Ross, like she scored, and it kind of took the win from my sails because I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. But the way that then after that to come back even more and play the way we did and score those 2 quick fire goals, how they both happened, I don't know, but it's just amazing to see our team battle back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when Hannah Kane scored, first thing I was thinking, do the worm, do the worm, do the worm.
I know that's all I was thinking. I'm mad she didn't do it.
No. So when we next speak to Hannah, we'll have to call that out.
She did a great little dance still.
Yeah, she did.
Of the 3 goals, Hannah, which one's your favourite? Which brings me on to Mysterian's point, which I think's Neil. Hi, Neil.
My favorite goal out of the 3, well, I think they're all great goals. The 2 last goals were definitely taking advantage of United's errors and exposing them at the back there, because I think that they, like both Kane and Flint, took complete advantage of those little blips that United were having. But if you look at Shannon's goal, she managed to get into United's defense. She had about 3 players on her, and she somehow like put the ball into the back of the net before completing a turn. Like she was half turn and she still put it into the net. And I don't know how she did it, but I think I'm going to have to give that one. But at the same time, the other 2 were great goals because they were just completely taking advantage of the situation, which is really great. And the fact that Flint made it around, and when I saw her getting closer to the side of the net, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be like Vardy. Like every time I feel like Vardy just runs past the net, I'm like, oh no, she's going to end up in the siding. And then she just managed to cut it straight across, which is so great. Kane was good too. It's just all great goals, but I'm gonna have to give it to Shannon because that was just such a technical goal.
Yeah, so I think, like you say, all 3 goals are great. And against a great opposition, I know they've had a few issues this week. Managers going after this game, something the club might not be backing them as much as they want. But I think overall we came into our own today, Austin. I think probably one I want to touch on is we always wondered how far off the WSL we were standard-wise. Yes, we're there now, but I think on today's performance, it shows to me and the whole world that we're about there.
Yeah, we're definitely very close, and we're definitely very competitive and can be competitive in that league. I mean, they were still managing minutes. Like this was their end of the season. They didn't start Toon, they didn't start Batcher, and they didn't start Amy Turner. It's like, are they just not taking this game seriously? And then when they put Toon on, like they're like, okay, they're taking it seriously. Then we scored 2 goals. And it's like we are definitely, or we can definitely compete in this league and with that team. And the thing is, we're only going to get better in the summer. We're only going to get more signings, get a deeper squad. So next season's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think also at halftime, a lot of teams could have folded. You're playing a big WSL team. You're probably going there going, we might not be able to come back from this. And mentally, we came out so much stronger than Man United, and I think that shows a lot for the team and what Jonathan's done with that team. They're actual winners. Their mentality is to be a winner. And I think we've seen it all season, but it kind of came true today that that's what's happening. This is what we can do in the WSL. And I know as a fan, I'm super proud of everything they've done this season. But I think, as Austin said, it's just going to get better and better. So going back to the game, Hannah, player of the match. I know we always have an argument on this.
I mean, I think Flint had such a huge impact. She always does. But today, every time she was touching the ball, that's when I was like, okay, like things are moving forwards, like closer to the net. So I think I'm going to have to give it to Flint today. Her goal is like she scored the winning goal as well, but she was just on top of it. She was really making moves there too. And I think I'm going to have to give it to her. I'm like blanking completely because it's like we just beat United. So
Austin, player of the match for you? Probably
it had to be Kirsty Lavelle for me. I mean, she kept us in the game. I mean, there could have easily been 4 or 5 goals. She had 2 really strong hands on near posts. She had a foot save very early in the game. Like she single-handedly kept us in that game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if you look at our women's goalkeeper, men's goalkeeper, they're both absolutely world-class shot stoppers. And I think she came into her own again today. I mean, we've said it all season. We've got quite a good defence, and when players get behind our defence, there's another wall to get past. And I think it's absolutely amazing that we've got her there, and she's such a great shot stopper. And I'm looking forward to seeing her again next season doing the same thing. She just seems to come in and just do a job. I know sometimes goalkeepers get overlooked because they don't score goals, but if it wasn't for her this season, then I think we may have dropped a few points, and today proved that she's helped us to get into that. So I can only imagine what she's going through right now, because I think when you save shots like that, it's just completely amazing. And we've seen it all season, so credit to her, if I'm perfectly honest. So Hannah, going forward,
my answer.
Okay.
Not change it. I'm going to give it to Joint. Okay, now that I'm thinking back to the game, you mentioned her because she was phenomenal today. But her, Tierney, and Flint were all so great. And so now I'm like remembering everything that happened. Yes, she was phenomenal. And I need to give her credit there because she was just amazing today and all season. She won that Golden Glove, just an amazing keeper. So I'm doing like a three man of the matches.
Every single time we do this show and we try and get a man of the match, we always come with different answers, and Hannah's just brought up with 3. So I think
I'm to everyone.
I think looking forward, because of a good comment, who are we hoping for in the quarters? I know that Cam wants Birmingham. That'd be a nice local derby for us. Anyone. I think we've proven today that we can mix it up with the best. So anyone, but I would like us to be at home because obviously by the time the games get played, we should be back in the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, anyone you would prefer or want to stay clear of?
I think the best draw for us is probably Charlton. They had a big win against Blackburn today. That would probably be our best draw, but I think the one we want to stay away from is Arsenal. I think they won 9-0 against Palace today, so I think we want to kind of stay away from them. Maybe let them and City play each other. But yeah, I think that's probably for us is what we want.
Hannah, same question to you.
Well, as soon as I saw that question pop up, my first thought was when Kelechi said someone easy so we can win. But honestly, I think we're capable of anything. So, yeah, Charlton would be a result that too. But looking at the WSL in the future, I feel like Brighton would be a good kind of level ground for us to see where we are at within the WSL. But I think we made a huge statement today with beating United, but there's also more statements to be made. So every club is different. Leagues are so unpredictable. Arsenal may have beat Crystal Palace 9-0 today, but they did not have the greatest season for like half of it. So you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Neil's expecting us to do the double. Probably, I don't know. We did well in the Women's FA Cup last year. I expect us to do the same this year. There's no reason why we can't go all the way, if I'm perfectly honest. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to Austin first and see how far he thinks we can go in the competition before I ask Hannah, who probably won't come out with a prediction. Austin?
I mean, I'm confident in us going as far as we can go. I mean, we went out in the quarters last year against City and we lost by 1, and we didn't even have half the team that we have now. So, I mean, you never know. Obviously, you never know how both of the teams are going to be playing at that time, but and who we play. But I mean, there's a very good chance we can compete with any team that we go on the field with.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Hannah, how far do you think we can go?
I think that it all really depends on who we're drawn against. But like I said, I think we're capable of anything. But like I also said, I think the WSL is so unpredictable and this competition is so unpredictable. But I think that I don't want to sound like too forward, but I can see us getting to the final if we keep this up. But it's so far away. It's just so hard to say how things are going to change and all of that. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I can see us getting to the final because I feel like Jonathan is ready to win some trophies, some more trophies. So let's do it.
I was just laughing at Alex's comment.
Maybe I should have said the opposite because now I feel like I'm just gonna.
All the pressure is on us now.
Yeah.
Hannah predicted.
The one time I do, and I'm sitting here being confident in the team and saying they're doing so well, and now you're turning on me. This is why I don't do it. I don't trust anyone.
This wouldn't be an LCFC women's show without us roasting you, Hannah. You should know that by now.
Yeah, clearly Carly watches the videos because she was having a good time poking at me, which was awesome.
We've got so good at it. We've got the players doing it now as well. So
yeah, I love it.
So going forward, obviously that was the last game of the season. Obviously next weekend the men's are at home to Spurs, where the FA Cup will be paraded. There's also talk that the women's team might be there parading the league trophy, which I think would be massive if that happened, for those lucky enough to go to the Spurs game. So I think going forward, WSL with there, we did it next season. You can see, as Austin said, a few signings coming in. Next season, I think, will be tough. As Hannah said, it is unpredictable. But I think if we keep the core of the team, we get some signings in. Our training facilities are one of the best in that league, as we've already seen. So I'm very, very excited about next season. Austin, what are your views for next season?
I'm excited because I just want it to come already. I don't want to wait 3 months. But yeah, I think it's the step that we've always wanted and the challenge that we all want. And obviously, we do have to see what stadium we're going to play in. That's kind of a big deal first. Hopefully, we get in the KP. And fans coming back will be interesting. But all I'm saying is I want an American on the team so I can root for it even more. So hopefully we get one of them. But yeah, just so ready for next season to come.
Hannah, I know that you'll be with us next season. Well, I'm hoping you'll be. Otherwise, I'm doing this on my own.
I'm not ditching you. Don't worry. Next season. Sorry, you guys lagged so hard that I missed everything Austin said. So I hope I don't say like the same thing as he did.
It's all right. No one listens to me anyway. It's okay.
Just looking into the WSL, I've seen like so many people making predictions already about the table, and everyone's putting us mid-table, which kind of surprised me. Not because I don't think we're not a mid-table side. I absolutely do believe that we belong in like the top 6. I'm surprised that these WSL fans are saying that Liverpool are going to win the championship. So then to see them putting us mid-table in the WSL is like clearly they see something, and clearly they see that we can be a bit of a threat and we are here to make a statement. So I think that it's just going to be a great season, and I think we're going to have a really good inaugural season. I would love a 15-16 minus the Great Escape. So if we can avoid that, that would be amazing. But yeah, it's so unpredictable, like I keep saying. But I think it's just going to be great all around. Whoever comes in, whoever stays, I think Jonathan's doing an amazing job. Everyone at the club, Jade is doing an amazing job. Our owners are doing a phenomenal job. I have no complaints whatsoever. We have everything set to go into the WSL and to compete in the WSL. And I think that we're 100% going to show that next season.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Willow comes up with a good point. Any news whether we're going to play next season? No, we've not heard anything. As soon as we do, we'll let you guys know. I presume the club are still in discussions of where that's going to be, due to the capacity, etc., and making sure there's enough room for TV and stuff going into next season. So I'm quite looking forward to find out where that will be as well. Hopefully be somewhere central. We've said most weeks on this show we'd love it to be the King Power, so fingers crossed we'll get to hear that soon. Just want to say thanks to everyone that's been joining us over the last few weeks and watching all our videos, including the player interviews, and a big thanks to Neil and all the stuff he's been doing with the channel as well. Yes, we're growing it as best we can. So if you can like the video, subscribe as much as you can, and we'll look forward to seeing you all next season. Thanks both.